Hey everybody, Coach MJ here, and this, oh my gosh, this is Holly, my foster puppy, who's being adopted, like, mwah. Anyway, tonight's topic, you guys, is how to train and race in the heat, and whew, I'm sitting outside right now, and it is a little toasty out today, and I'm sitting here and I'm not even doing anything except holding this dog, but I just wanted to tell you, I wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how you can race and train well in the heat, okay? So, hey Jackie, hey Lisa, hey Carrie, welcome guys. Do you see this precious little girl? Yeah, I have her on a leash, you know why? Because she's so skinny, she will fit through my fence. I know, right? Isn't she cute? She's leaving me tonight, she's leaving me tonight. Anyway, all right you guys, real quick, because this video is not gonna be long, because she's only like 25-30 pounds, but she's probably gonna get really crazy in a minute. So I just wanted to go through some of these tips, because now that we're in July, now is the time when you're training and you're racing. It's gonna be really hot, and there are some different things that you need to do when it's gonna be super hot than when it's ideal weather conditions. And everybody freaks out about the weather conditions, you guys, but the fact is, it is what it is. You can't control that. What you can control is how you react to those weather conditions. And I have raced well in some really, really hot conditions. I don't do so great in the cold, just because I can't keep circulation in my fingers and my toes. But hi baby. Hi Brad. Hey Brad, want to do a race? Mwah. Hey Russ. Hey Eric. Hey Sandy. Look at my baby. Oh, I'm gonna miss her so much. I've only had her for 2 weeks. I'm totally in love with her. Anyway, last week's winner of the journal is Juliet Lynn Wu. Juliet, pop me over your mailing address and I'll send the journal over to you. So anyway, guys, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to cover racing really quick. Here's the thing. When you have race goals, right? When it's going to be 95 and super humid, you might want to adjust those goals just a little bit, and you're probably going to have a better race and maybe escape heat exhaustion, right? So there are definitely some things that you want to do, and the very first thing you need to do is slow down a little bit. So if you're let's just say you're doing a half Ironman, right? And so it's 13 miles. Sorry, she's getting feisty already. So she doesn't know she's on camera, but doesn't she? You know, look at her. So if your normal pace for, say, a 13-mile run is going to be 9 minutes, let's just say that 9 minutes is your goal pace. If it's going to be really, really hot like that and humid, you probably want to drop that to a 9:30. And I know as type A and as athletes, we don't want to slow down, but that's what we're going to need to do in order to continue. Because if you start out at your 9s, airplane overhead. So if you start out at your 9s, you're probably going to have to start walking sometime along that race, and ideally you don't want to do that, or take short walk breaks, but you don't want to sit there and walk the entire, back half of that half marathon. You okay, sweetie? You want to go? You want to go? Oh, she's really kind of heavy to sit there that long. Hey John, hey Kevin, you guys, thanks for hopping in. So the very first thing is you want to slow down a little bit on that race pace. Number 2 is to cool down, and you'll see so many people pouring the water over their heads. You guys, that's really not the way to do it. What you want to do is you want to take that water in. Okay, 2 things. 1, because you need to stay hydrated, but 2, if you can get some water with some ice, cooler, you can cool off internally. You can cool off from the inside out. If you take that water and drop it over your head, it's going to evaporate really fast. Here's why I never do it. Because it runs down into my socks and into my shoes and gives me blisters. So I don't do that anymore. So cool off from the inside out. So make sure that you take in the cold water and don't just dump it over your head. The other thing is to wear a hat. I have a visor on, right? But I have hair to protect my head. But a lot of you guys who, I don't know, might be lacking a little bit up here, a hat. And 2 things with a hat. Number 1, it protects you from the sun, right? Because here my visor is going to protect me from the sun on my face. But a hat's going to protect up here. But the other thing, what's cool about a hat, you guys, is that you can, when you're at an aid station, take ice, put it in that hat, throw that on your head, and then the ice slowly melts. And that is much better than taking like cold water and dumping it over your head, which I've seen people who dump it and they go like this and then just goes right behind them anyway. It's like, why'd you even do that? But because they think they look cool. And being cool is better than looking cool. All right. Hey, Jennifer, congratulations on your race yesterday. And then the other thing is to actually recognize when there's trouble. Hang on a second. Hey! Shush! Recognize when there's trouble. And there are a lot of different signs, you guys, that I think when we're racing that we overlook. And that's why we fall into trouble. Because we don't want to slow down and we don't want to see those warning signs, and so we keep going on until we can't go any further, and then we push ourselves into a danger zone. And I've only exactly one time had to go into a medical tent after a race because I did that. I just thought that I should be running faster and faster, and I got in the medical tent and my heart rate was so high, and even when I stopped it didn't come down. And I laid down. I was there for like a half hour. It was Muncie. Oh my God, Jennifer, it was Muncie. I was so hot that they had to lay down. My friends couldn't find me because I don't go in the medical tent. They had to drag me in there. I hate that. Hey Mark, welcome. Congratulations on your race yesterday. So first of all, is cramps or muscle spasms. Like, you know, sometimes you normally cramp, whatever. All right. But if there's something that happens, cramps, muscle spasms, that's not normal to you, you're not used to that, pay attention, slow down. It means your body needs something. And your job is to figure out exactly what that body needs, right? So when I talk about hydration, I don't talk about just water. Water's really important. Hold on a second. Hey! Holly! Shh! Hydration is really important. Water is really important, but you also have to have some kind of drink with electrolyte replacement. And if you're a really heavy sweater and it's a really hot day, you may want some kind of salt enhancement, salt replacement, salt tabs, whatever. And I can give you all the tricks on what I used to do for that, because not really a very heavy sweater, but when when it was really hot, I would add some salt supplements to my nutrition. But I didn't take them as just regular salt tabs. I have a trick. All right. Heavy sweating, if you're pale, if you stop sweating, all of those things, you guys, are just big warning signs. Like if you start to walk and your heart rate doesn't come down, that's a sign, right? So if you stop running and you start walking, that heart rate should drop. And you should be able to breathe normally. And if you can't, there is a signal. That's a sign, okay? So you have to get some attention, get some water, do something. Oh, some races, like the WTCs in the hot areas, will give you sponges. And you can put them, like women, you can tuck them under your bra. Men, you can tuck them in your hats. I've seen people tuck them in their pants. So just because we do all those things, you guys, don't drink out of them. You'll see the pros on TV, like take a sponge and squeeze it and drink out of it. It looks so cool. Those sponges are reused. Don't do that, because we're not pros. We're not in the front. Okay. If you're nauseous, if you start to feel like you're becoming unconscious, obviously, guys, use your brain, man. Use your brain, because live on to see the next race, right? It's you gotta think big picture. This is just one race, right? Okay. Now I'm gonna cover. And I know I'm talking like a million miles a minute. Oh, if you want to get this week's bonus is my top, I think it's 20 tips for training, my top 20 tips for training in the heat. And you have to go to TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. I don't have my whiteboard out here. I wanted to do this outside because I wanted you to see Holly girl. But TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. If someone could put that in the comments, I would really appreciate that. That is going to give you my top 20, not just 5, not 10, guys. 20 tips and tricks on how you can race better in the heat and handle that in the heat. So if someone could type that in, I would really appreciate that. All right. So here are, don't just type heat. TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. My little picture will come up, all that stuff. But yeah, you can get that bonus this week. All right. For training. First and foremost, I would recommend that you do loops. Okay, so if you have, let's just say you have a 12-mile run this weekend, right? And it's going to be 98 degrees, whatever. Instead of doing 6 miles out and 6 miles back, I would recommend you do maybe a 2 or 3 mile loop and just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. You could put out your water and your ice and your nutrition, whatever you need. And if you get into trouble, you're never that far away from home. The same thing goes with the bike. Like if you're going to do a 50 miler, instead of going out 25 and back 25, you know, maybe you just do 10 mile loops. And you guys know that's not the most ideal way to do it, but especially if you're alone, especially if there's no shortcut, right? You don't, okay, so the 100-mile loop that I do, there is no shortcut. I go out 50, and then I know even if I'm having a bad day, I still have 50 miles to get back home. There are no shortcuts. You know, that's when you're training in heat, I don't recommend that. I recommend you take a shorter course and be able to cut it if you need to. Now, the thing is, you're going to have to be mentally tough to not back out and be a wimp on it. But if you get into trouble, if you start feeling nauseous, if you start feeling lightheaded, if you start to stop sweating, you know, and it's 98 degrees outside and you stop sweating, there is an issue. Hey guys, someone please type in TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. That's where you get your bonus. That's how you get your bonus this week. Oh, and this week I'm giving away, speaking of training in the heat, I'm giving away an insulated water bottle. All you have to do is share this video. You'll be entered in the raffle to get this water bottle. All right. Hey, Bruno. Welcome. Where you been, dude? All right. Still, none of you has typed in TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. So nobody gets a gold star this week. All right. The other thing you can do is to freeze your water bottles the night before. This has worked for me many, many times, especially on a 100-mile ride. If I know I'm going to be out there for that long, I will take both my nutrition and my water bottles and I will freeze them overnight. And then when I start, yeah, I have to have one like thawed water bottle, but I'll let the other ones be in the back, you know, be frozen so that as I ride, they're cool, you know, and sometimes they last a while and sometimes they don't. But the fact is that at least I start out with some cool nutrition and water instead of just like that being like super warm. If you're doing Ironman, you guys, get used to drinking stuff warm, especially if like you're doing Wisconsin, Louisville, any of these warm weather ones. Because a lot of times, even at the aid stations, they run out of ice. It happens, okay? It's not ideal, but it happens. So make sure whatever nutrition you're taking, I mean, water you can take in as it's warm, but if you're taking nutrition and you're like, oh, I can't stand the taste of this if it's warm, well, you might want to find something else because you can't guarantee that is going to be cold through the 112-mile bike ride that you have to do. That's my recommendation. Oh, Jackie, you put spaces in it. Thanks, Candace. I think you have to put the whole thing. I think you have to put the HTTP because none of it's popping up. But anyway, thank you guys. Thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Renee. Hey. All right. Here's one more tip. I shouldn't say one more. I got 3 more. The next one is to cool off before your training. And this is, I don't do it. I don't do it, but it's recommended. So like if you're going to a hot run, you're going to get up and you're going to go and do your, 15-mile run, your 9-mile run, your 6-mile run. That's your long run. And it's really hot already. They recommend that you be in air conditioning in your car on your way. And then you can cool your body off a little bit so that when you get out, it takes a little bit to heat up. Me? No. No, I ride with the windows open. And then the same thing in the winter. Like I don't want to have the heat on too high and get too warm before I have to ride. Okay? But that's just me. I'm just telling you what they say to do. So to bring your body temperature down just before the workout is supposed to be an advantage. So try that. See how that works for you. To me, that's not going to last that long anyway. And it's temperature shock when I get out of the car. If I'm in a 72 degree nice and cold car and I get out and it's 95 and I have to run, now it's hotter and then I'm going to make myself hotter by running. But that's what they say. Thank you. Thanks, Dawn. Thank you, Bruno. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Hey, if you want to win the water bottle, it's an insulated water bottle. Okay, Camelback. So this is good stuff, man. All you have to do is share this video. If you know someone that needs to, that's training in the heat, training this summer for something and needs a little bit of tips on how to train a race in the heat, all you have to do is share the video and you'll be entered in the raffle for that. All right. Next is light colored clothing. So this black shirt, you don't want to wear that. You want to wear anything dark. You also don't want to wear anything tight. And that's kind of a conflict with triathletes, because as we swim and then bike and then run, we try to wear the same thing, but you don't want to wear something loose in the swim because it creates drag. So it's a little bit different if you're racing. But if you're training, don't wear the tight stuff unless it's, hold on, race day rehearsal. And that's next week's topic, you guys. I think everybody should have a race day rehearsal, at least one, preferably like 2 or 3, depending on what race you're doing or how experienced you are. My next week's topic is going to be race day rehearsal and how to execute that. But if you're just doing a training run or a training ride, wear loose clothing. Wear light colored clothing that reflects the sun instead of attracts it. And also you want to make sure that you wear moisture wicking materials. Don't be wearing a cotton shirt like this, okay? All that's going to do is soak in your sweat and get heavy and get hotter and make you uncomfortable and probably chafe, okay? So you want to make sure you wear loose clothing, light colored clothing, all right? And moisture wicking, so some kind of technical fabric. And then my last tip is going to be hydrate well before, during, and after the race. Many of us are good at doing it during the race. We're good at it. What we forget to do is hydrate before and hydrate after, okay? But you have to do the whole thing. Now, it depends on how hot it is, how long your race is, how much you've been racing. There's a ton of different variables in there. But don't just think, hold on, stop eating that! She's eating weeds. So don't just think that all you need to do is, oh, I just drink well during my race and you're good. If you go into that, gosh, I forgot the statistic, but if you go into your race, even just like 2% dehydrated, your performance declines like 10%. It's something crazy like that. But I'm not saying like drink like a fish so that you're going to the bathroom every 10 minutes. I'm not saying that either. But carry around a water bottle, and you'll almost always see me with a water bottle in my hand. Whether I'm drinking it or not, doesn't matter. I don't drink it unless I'm thirsty. If I'm thirsty, I'm drinking it. And the thing is, if you feel like you're thirsty, you probably are already a little dehydrated. So you want to make sure that you drink, and not just the night before, but the few days before, particularly if it's longer, like half Ironman, Ironman. Particularly if it's longer, you want to start a few days before, not just the day before, the night before, because you just drink it and you're gonna, pass it out, right? But if you get nice and, the next few days, how do you tell if you're hydrated or not? Anybody know that? Hey, Charlene. Hey, Candace. Berbers in the desert will tell you drink hot fluids and avoid the AC. It works. Interesting. I don't know what a Berber is. Anybody know what the indicator is if you're hydrated, well hydrated or not? Clear P. Carrie! Ding, ding, ding. Exactly. Okay, so I know this is kind of weird, but it's true. If your urine is clear, you're hydrated. If your urine, it should be like the color of lemonade. If it's the color of like apple juice, you are dehydrated, my friend. You need to drink some more. And very, very many times I'll go into a race and be hydrated, and I drink as much as I can during the race, and then after I do my business, and it is so dark yellow, like almost dangerously dark. That means I didn't hydrate well enough. Okay, that just tells me what I need to do for next time. So yeah, hey Lilia, hola. Anyway, so again, last time, go to www.TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. www.com, did I say that? Really? www.TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. You're going to get 20, not 5, not 10, 20 tips on how to stay safe and train well in the heat. You can just download that. There's no fee for that. And then if you want to be entered in the raffle for this water bottle, this insulated water bottle, so you can put your drinks in here, put a little bit of ice in here, your drinks in here. This is going to stay chilled, you guys. This is a Camelback water bottle. It's half a liter. It's badass. I'm going to raffle that off next week. And then next week's topic is, what did I say it was? Oh, race day rehearsal. And that's something none of my coaches ever had me do. But once I started doing it, I was like, everybody must do this, because it made me feel so comfortable and so confident and so prepared in my races. I add that into all of my athletes' training plans. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. Please, again, share the video if you want to be entered in for the water bottle. Go to TriRightCoaching.com/bonus to get your free 20 tips on how to master training in the heat, because it is July and it's hot pretty much across the country, and you know, we still have races to do, and we've got a couple months left of heat. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully, first of all, I appreciate all of you guys hopping in. And Holly would say goodbye, but she's over there eating, I don't know, grass or something. And I thank you guys so much for hopping in, and I hope to see you next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, right back here. Thanks so much. Have a great week.